Jackman! Hello, everybody. We're live. How are we all?
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Was that a jump scare for anybody? How are we doing? What's the vibe? Are we feeling good about today? I've got all my questions out of the way. And
what did I do that scared you earlier? It's really funny.
Scared me earlier?
Yeah, when I was in your office, I did something and you had like a big jump about it.
I don't remember. The fucking printer scared me like 3 times earlier. I remember that.
I don't know. I don't remember what it was, I guess.
I don't remember. Sorry, my brain turned off for a second. Yeah, I don't remember. You just jump scare me a lot, to be fair.
I didn't mean to, and that's why it was so funny. I've given you like PTSD, dude. You like walk around my house like crouching and
That is true.
like trying to hide.
I'm afraid of being Jackmaned every day of my life.
Jackman.
So how are we all doing? What's today? Wednesday? How's today? How's everyone's Wednesday? Is it good?
How long has it been Wednesday?
Huh?
I said, how long has it been Wednesday? Can you not hear? Like, is my mic not coming through or something?
No, I'm just fucking stupid.
Okay, because there's been like 3 times since we've joined this call that you've been like, huh?
I'm still recovering from 3 hours at the dentist yesterday. I'm still.
Yeah, would you like to tell the people about your trip to the dentist?
So I went to the dentist yesterday. I was there for 3 hours. I was there for 3 hours. I got 8 cavities filled, and I got a cleaning. Have you ever gotten 8 cavities filled at once? Not good, Bob. Not a good time. Thank you, Riramao, for the raid with 182 people. I'm talking about getting 8 cavities filled. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. We literally just went live like 2 minutes ago.
Well, they can see that at the bottom.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Yeah.
What's that spiel? You know how people have spiels when they get raided? Like they tell them who they are?
One time we got raided and this person played a video that explained
they
their
had like
raiding.
a trailer.
Yeah. We also actually have a channel trailer that our mod Ingo made for us. I guess you could watch that. I don't know. I don't think it really explains anything about us.
No.
But he's an artist and he draws a girl.
That's me.
And
I'm drawing this girl.
You might have heard of her. She's famous on Instagram.com.
Big Instagram energy.
And I'm a writer who created the girl.
Who was that raided us?
I don't want to butcher their name twice.
Somebody explain who raided us that came from their stream.
Definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that was nice. Thanks, man.
We're a bit loopy today, so bear with
really,
us.
he's a bit loopy today. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly cognizant.
But yeah, you know what? Now is a good time to say, actually, if you want, we have a book you can buy at BryceandScott.store. If you want to buy our physical book featuring the girl on screen, she fights with panties that are superpowered. You could do that, or you couldn't.
I gave them a follow.
But you could.
The person that raided us. Thank you for the raid.
Yeah, thank you for the raid.
Anyways, you were talking about getting your teeth fixed. You have gum disease.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll get into that. So first off, I have gum disease. Kind of. So I went to the dentist. So I went 8 years without going to the dentist because I was bad. and I was a bad human being. And so I after I graduated high school, I just never went to the dentist again. I was like, I'm free. So I thought. And so then I went to the dentist. Scott forced me to go to the dentist. And they were like, well, your teeth actually don't look as bad as you would expect, but you do basically have gum disease. And if you don't listen to us, you're going to start losing bones in your jaw in like a year or two. Like you're close. Like you're real close. So you should listen to us. And I was like, cool. And so they gave me a mouthwash, and they couldn't even do a normal cleaning for me that day. They had to do like a special gum disease cleaning for me that day.
Yeah, they had to reschedule him to get like an actual cleaning.
That cost me a few $100s, that cleaning. So they did that, and the good news is that when I went back, they told me my gums are healthy and fine now, and as long as I am good
and pink.
She kept saying good and pink. As long as I'm a good boy and keep up with it, then I won't lose my jaw. And then I had to get 8 cavities filled, one for each year that I wasn't at the dentist, apparently. And that sucked. That was 3 hours at the dentist, with my entire mouth numb because they were in all 4 quadrants of my mouth. Getting cavities done. So that was cool. And then I got an actual cleaning afterwards.
What was even worse than having to get 8 cavities filled was that I had to sit there while it happened. I was playing chess on my phone, and then my phone died, and so I couldn't play chess anymore. It was a bad time for me. At some point, I think the woman doing his cleaning realized I was about to die of boredom and asked if I wanted to go get like cookies or something from the reception table. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'll just suffer.
Have you had your wisdom teeth ripped out? Yes, I had my wisdom teeth removed when I was like 16.
Same. That'll happen eventually.
Yeah, I had my wisdom teeth removed when I was younger because they were growing in wrong and they were going to rip out of my gums, I was told. So I got them removed when I was like 15 or 16.
It's really mine taken out yet.
It's really not that bad. Honestly, the wisdom teeth is really not that big of a deal. They just put you to sleep, and it's not even like really going to sleep. It's like the baby's first knockout. I don't know.
Baby's first knockout. And you're like, please don't knock out babies.
You're like,
please.
You're like, you're just like under for like 30 minutes, and they take your teeth out, and then they're like, eat applesauce for 2 days, and then you're fine. The stitches dissolve in your mouth and everything. It's really nothing. One of us is a bit of a baby about it.
I wasn't told that I needed to get them taken out until I was like 24 years old. And at that point, like they don't bother me very often. So I'm just like hoping I'll die before I have to actually get them taken out. Because I mean, I think if I don't know why I never got it done as a kid or as like a teenager when most people did.
Well, evidently they weren't growing in wrong at the time, or they weren't.
Apparently, well, I don't know, because I went to when I found out that I needed them out. I was at the dentist. Like I said, I was like 24 years old, and I was wondering about it because they would bother me every now and again. And I was like, do I need my wisdom teeth taken out? And he's like, oh yeah, you should have gotten that done already. And I'm like, that was your job to tell me that I needed to get that done. So it's not happened yet.
It ain't happened. But yeah, so that sucked. But it wasn't so bad. Getting my whole mouth numbed really sucked. I really hate having my mouth numbed. Really, it sucked. I don't know why I said it wasn't that bad. I really hated the entire experience. But I also just hate going to the dentist a lot. Like, I really hate going to the dentist. Enough that I didn't go for 8 whole years.
And boy, howdy, did you pay for that.
Yeah, it could have been worse, though.
I mean, that's true. You could have actually lost all of your teeth.
Yeah, but I didn't. So, like, I think, like, kind of how you could have, like, lost your teeth because of your wisdom teeth thing?
Well, it won't hurt my teeth. It'll just break my jaw, essentially.
That's worse, I feel like.
I mean, I don't know.
We should have streamed yesterday when my mouth was numb.
It was really funny listening to you talk.
I was fucking drooling on myself and everything. I was like trying to have a conversation with them. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to go again, hopefully, for anything serious, for like 6 months. Boy howdy. I do not want to...
Like, we got 200 people that rated us, and then we scared them all off by talking about dentistry.
I tried to talk about something differently, but then you brought it back around. We don't change for nobody, though.
I just wanted to hear the story again.
The weirdest thing about going to the dentist is that the actual dentist, I feel like, does like 5% of the work. It's this weird thing where like their, I don't know if you should call them, I guess like their assistant or whatever, does legitimately 95% of the work. The dentist came in, drilled the holes in my teeth for the cavities or whatever, and then just like was gone. And like that was it. And then the other woman did everything else. Like, legitimately, I was there for 3 hours. The dentist maybe was involved in 10 minutes.
In weird coincidence, though, the dentist that saw him was the one who filled my fiance's root canal the day before. That was
and didn't remember
one of those things.
I
was like, did you do a root canal on a woman with blue hair yesterday? And she's like, maybe. And I'm like, she has blue hair. I feel like you should remember.
And yeah, her
that.
assistant was like, we did. We did. At one point, they were both in my mouth and like drilling, and like the doctor is just like, ooh, that might be a chipped tooth right there. Ooh, is it though? I don't know. And they just never brought it up to me again. I still don't know what that was about. It was a really weird scenario. But they were very nice. Our dentist sends us handwritten letters.
That is true.
Thanking us for going to the dentist.
Probably not by the actual dentist, though.
No. It's probably just some... Oh, also, when we were walking into the dentist, Scott and I walk out of the elevator, and this fucking dog, this little, like, wiener dog, comes running out of a room straight towards them. And, like, there's just, like, gaggle of, like, 7 women are like, get out the way! Stop! Like, as if this dog is, like, a Saint Bernard or something, like, huge that's gonna, like, take him out.
It was maybe 4 inches tall.
It was like the cutest little wiener dog you've ever seen. And Scott just like, he literally just like put one hand down and it just like fell into his hand. Like that's how small it was. And then it just pissed all over. I mean, it just fucking unloaded into the floor. We still don't know. It was kind of a weird scenario because then they leaned into the dentist's office and they were like, oh, is there nobody in there? I'll get somebody in there for you. Like, I guess those women were part of the dentist office, but they were dealing with the dog. I was really confused about the whole situation.
It's a pleasant experience. You know, besides the having to sit there for 3 hours. I literally just had absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah, I felt really bad about that. You don't see, because Scott does this thing where anytime we have to go anywhere, like because I can't drive just yet, I'm just like, you can just drop me off and then you can come back. And he's always like, it will never be that long. We'll be fine. and I feel like the last time he said that was with the hair thing. We were there for 8 hours. I'm surprised you ever took that risk again.
I don't know. I didn't think it would take as long as it did. I forgot you have gum disease.
I didn't either, for the record. I thought it would take like an hour, even with all that I had.
Well, I also didn't know that they would do all 8 of them.
Neither did I. Anytime I've gone to get cavities filled before, and I've had multiple, they will only normally numb one side of your mouth at a time.
Yeah.
Like
Not today.
I have never had a dentist, and I looked it up afterwards because I was really confused about this. Apparently, it's just dentist preference. Like, there's no actual reason not to do it. It just is whatever the dentist is comfortable with. Because every time I've gone to get cavities filled or get something that requires my mouth numb, they'll typically only numb, like if you have stuff on your right and left, they'll only numb one side, and then they'll do like, we'll do the other ones a different day. I've never had them do it then. And so they were like, you want to get all 8 done? And I just looked at Scott and he was just like, fuck it. And I was like, okay, sure. In hindsight, if I were the one driving myself and it were my time, I would have been like, just 4 for now. Because getting my whole mouth done and getting it all done at once, I feel like made it a much worse experience than if I had it split up.
Hey, you're done though.
I am done though. My jaw is still very sore from keeping it open for 3 hours.
From all that oh.
Damn. But I'm done. It's over. I'm a free man. How's everybody else been? Has anybody else been to the dentist?
Everybody, dental story stream.
I remember when I went to get my wisdom teeth removed, it was pouring down rain. I don't know why I remember that very specifically. It was pouring down rain, and I get in, I'm in the chair, and the guy, like, they do the whole thing where when they knock you out, whenever you get knocked out for it. Have you ever been knocked out, Scott?
No.
Okay, I've been knocked out twice in my life. Once with the wisdom teeth, which, like I said, is like a light knockout. There's an actual term for it, but it's not like really going under. And then I was knocked out once for surgery, which was like the one where you're out for like a few hours and it's fucking like it's miserable. But they do this thing whenever you get knocked out where they do something to make you like, so they can tell. When I went to the dentist, they had me hold a ball in my hand and count backwards from 10, and then like I dropped the ball and he put the ball back in my hand, and they did that. But I do remember that he was like, the dentist was like, now son, do you want laughing gas? Some people say it makes them feel better. Some people don't like it. What do you think? And first of all, I was really confused because I was like 15. And I was like, how the fuck am I gonna know whether I want laughing gas or not? Like, how am I gonna have that like knowledge? It's not like unless I've been under like a million times. But I was like, fuck yeah. I felt nothing. So that's my disappointing story about laughing gas. Is that I didn't get high. When I remember when I actually, like, when I had my surgery and I went under, they were like wheeling me into the back room, and this woman, she just like starts talking to me, and like at first I don't realize what's happening because she's just like randomly asking me questions. She's just like, so what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I'm a writer. And she's like, oh, that's cool. But she just keeps asking me, and then I start to feel that I'm tired. And I'm like, oh my God, they're knocking me out. And she's just asking me questions so that she just knows if I'm awake or not. So then I just started giving bullshit answers. And I got like 2 answers in before I passed out. I don't remember what I said, but I remember very vividly that I just started making shit up. Because I was frustrated that I was being lied to.
I think I would be, I think I would be too stubborn, honestly. Like if they were doing the ball thing where you had to hold it in your hand, I just know myself, and I know that I would be like trying to hold on for as long as possible.
Oh, you can, but it's not a choice. Trust me, it's really not. Because the only way I can describe it is just like, I don't know, it's just literally like a light turns off. It's not like you get like sleepy and then more sleepy. It's like you're sleepy and then you're just gone in like the span of like 2 seconds.
Maybe for you.
You know, they bruised my dick when I had surgery that time. Can I tell? I guess I can
remember that.
Yeah, I woke up with a bruised dick. I don't know how. The surgery wasn't on my dick. It had nothing to do with that area or that like my groin. But I woke up. I mean, my dick was bruised. Like it was bad enough that I almost asked the doctor. I was almost like, is this okay? Especially because I couldn't piss right afterwards immediately. Because when you have a major surgery, when they knock you out like that, they have to make sure you can pee before you leave. Because if you don't, then they have to do tests on you to make sure. Because when they do that, the reason getting fully knocked out really sucks is that your whole body shuts down. And it's not like going to sleep. Like, it takes a while for your whole body to turn back on. So, like, you have trouble going to the bathroom for, like, a little bit of time. You'll feel groggy for a few days. Like, it's really weird. It's a really weird feeling. But they have to make sure you can pee before they let you leave. And, yeah, I remember I couldn't pee. Like, I just couldn't do it. And I got really worried. It was because of my bruised dick. But it wasn't. I was able to pee before leaving. But
thrilling conclusion to that story.
I did have a bruised dick.
Well, I couldn't pee, but then I could.
Here's what I remember. I remember I'm gonna get personal real quick, and I don't give a shit. I remember I was there, and it was just me. My mom was the only one that went with me for the surgery because I was like 18 at the time, 19. I was younger, so she went with me. And I remember she came over and she's like, "Okay, they say you have to pee before you can leave," and I was like, "That's fine. Peeing in public, that's no problem for me. I don't care. I can do this." And the woman hands me a gallon jug. I'm literally not exaggerating, like a milk jug. And she's like, "Okay, pee in this." And that really confused me because I was like, how much am I supposed to piss? And she was like, "Also, because your surgery was so late, if you can't pee within like 20 minutes, you gotta stay here overnight. Like, we just can't send you home, like because we'll be closing up and stuff." And so I was facing the reality of having to stay there all night after having surgery and having to eat. The only things they offered me to eat were those little goldfish graham crackers that everyone used to eat at school. Does anybody remember these goldfish graham crackers? That's what they gave me. It was that and like chocolate milk. I literally felt like I was a little kid. It was very frustrating. But I go to the bathroom and I stand there and I try and piss and I can't do it. And I'm like, oh fuck. And it wasn't even like my nervousness. It was just like I couldn't pee. And so I tried, and then like it came back out, and I was like, "Can't do it." And she was like, "You really don't want to stay here all night, do you?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "Just try again, my little trooper." And I was like, "Okay."
She did not say that.
No, she didn't. But that was like the vibe. And so I walked in, and I remember I had a full-on conversation with my dick. I was like, "Listen, buddy, we need to just make it work and just deal with it later." And I pissed maybe. I mean, like, I don't like the smallest amount, like it was barely anything. And I brought it back to her, which was really embarrassing, just having to carry a gallon of my pee. Well, not a gallon, but a gallon filled with a little bit of my pee to this woman. And I hand it to her and I'm like, "Is this enough?" And she looks at it and she goes, "I don't know. I'm going to have to call the doctor." And so she went and she called the doctor and she was like, "So it's a little bit of pee, but not a lot, but clearly he can pee. So is he fine?" And they were like, "Yeah." And so I got to leave. I don't know. That's my story of almost being trapped in the hospital for an extra night. I also don't know if I said this. The reason I had surgery on my ass, which is really funny, because I had like a problem with my ass. So that's kind of funny too. The whole situation was really bad when I was going through it. But now that I'm an adult, it's really funny. Bryce, do you wear diapers now? No, it wasn't that kind of situation. I mean, like, literally the exterior of my ass had a problem.
Well,
you know what I mean.
Is this the stream where we finally talk about your ass?
Have I never talked about it before? I had a cyst on my ass that I had to get removed when I was like 18. Because it was really, really painful. I couldn't walk for like a few weeks because of it. And like it took them like 6 months to basically figure out like what it was and how to remove it and shit like that. And I've dealt with it on and off even since my surgery. But the surgery stopped it from being an everyday issue. But yes, that's what I went in for surgery for. I did have to show my mother my ass at one point, which Scott thinks is really funny. That I at 19 showed my mom my ass. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't know. It's not like my mom hasn't seen me naked before. She's my mom. But Scott thinks it's really funny.
I wouldn't have done it.
Motherfucker, I don't give a shit what you would have done.
I'll do a poll in the chat. Is it weird to show your mom your asshole at 19?
It wasn't my asshole. That makes it sound worse. It was just my ass. It was just my plain old bare ass. I did have to... Okay, this is pretty funny. I will tell this. After my surgery, I had to keep my ass, like, shaved. Like, that was a part of it. And... because there was this problem where this is gross, I'm sorry, but where the surgery was... Like I couldn't let any hair grow near it. So which was not fun. But I remember I came in one time and she was like, and the doctor was like, first of all, they can't look at your ass without another person being in the room. To make sure they're not like doing anything inappropriate. Which is kind of embarrassing for like a 19-year-old boy. But anyway, I had 2 women like looking at my ass every time I went. And I remember the first time I went, they were like, you know, you just, the hairs are just still growing. we're just gonna have to get rid of them ourselves. And I was like, what? And she took tweezers and tweezed the hairs out of my ass and then put this shit on it called like, I think like silver nitrate or something, but it burned. It like essentially like cauterizes the hair or like the wound a little bit. And I had to do that for a few weeks. I had to get hairs picked out of my ass by 2 women. It was kind of strange. It was a strange arc of my life. And now I'm all better.
Pay for that.
Now I'm all better, except for when I'm not. But most of the time, I'm all better. That was when we were writing World's Worst Bounty Hunter, to date it a little bit. So we were like 19, I think.
In a little while. And then you came home from your surgery and you bitched and you moaned about it constantly while we tried to watch TV.
No, what happened is I came home and it was like midnight. And this is back when Scott and I were little rapscallions and we stayed up all night all the time. We still had our youth. And I came home and so Scott was still awake and he was like, yo, you want to hang out? And I was like, sure. I have a hole in my ass, but we can hang out. And so we hung out. We watched some wrestling matches. For some reason, I think we watched like Stone Cold versus The Rock at WrestleMania. I don't know why specifically that match we watched. Like it was a match we had seen before. I don't know. And we got like halfway through it, and I just remember being like, "Bro, I gotta go to sleep. I'm sorry." And I just remember like turning my fucking my PlayStation off and going to bed. Yeah, that was the story of the time I had to get my ass cut open. I'm trying to think if there's anything funny else that happened with that era. I can't really remember. I do remember the entire time Scott going, "You're gonna look back at this and laugh on it, Bryce." As like I was like bleeding out of my backside and miserable. Oh, I did pass out actually. Like they did I took a medicine that made me pass out. Like I had a really bad reaction to it. So that was kind of tight. And when I say pass out, I mean literally like fall over. Like my dad caught me before I hit the ground, thankfully. So that was kind of tight. I learned that from that time. But that's really the only other interesting thing that happened from that era.
I can't get him to do codeine with me because of that.
Somebody's gonna fucking kill me with codeine now. What the fuck? Why would you say it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm allergic to bees, probably.
I can't believe you.
Also, I'll look at their name in a minute. Subscribe for their 8th month as you're telling a story about your second asshole.
Yo, thank you, Arkham Mike, the goat. Been around forever.
Mike.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was too busy talking about my ass.
Bryce loves his ass.
Yeah, that was a fun time in my life. I was also single and dating at the time. Like trying to. So that was
his opener.
It was that is true. There after I had the surgery, I for a while, whenever I would like flirt with anybody or be like talking to anybody, for some reason my opener would just be like, "Hi, I'm Bryce. I just had surgery on my ass." Just because I was like, if they stay, they're a real one. And you know what? I did that to Amy and she stayed with me. Here we are. So it worked. I do remember one time I said that to a girl and she was like, "Oh, bro, same." And she told me this whole story about surgery she had, and it made me really uncomfortable. And I really didn't want to have the conversation. It was like, because with me, I would just say it as a joke and then never elaborate. She didn't say it as a joke. She said it and then she gave me every ounce of detail. I like what fucking painkillers they put her on, what they did to her. It was very strange.
You got her medical history, bro.
Yeah.
That's normally a third date thing.
Yeah, that yeah, strange. I have a question because I'm curious. What's the duplicate images on your Patreon? I'm assuming you mean the JPEG and the PNG. The PNG is higher quality.
Yeah. So if it's that high res content, boy.
Yeah. So if one is typically the first one is the JPEG, which is like the web size version essentially. Like that's what you'll find on websites and stuff. Like if Scott uploads something to Twitter, it's a JPEG. The PNG is like the higher quality version. Like when we post the Twitter links at the end of each month, sometimes when we remember to do it, those are PNGs.
Funny thing about that,
those are PNGs because they're meant to be higher quality than when you see them on Twitter.
High res as fuck, boys.
We need to hear more Bryce and Scott childhood friend stories. I'm trying to think if there's any like cool ones we've not told on stream.
Cool? With us?
Well, like funny ones. We told a lot of them on stream, but I'm trying to think if there's any that like really stand out right now.
I don't know. We just played a lot of Xbox. We didn't do a whole lot.
We did play a lot of Xbox. That was basically, I mean, that's kind of our, that was our childhood because we didn't grow up near each other. It was just playing Xbox and making comics.
Yeah, now we have much more interesting stories. Like going to the dentist and getting cavities filled.
Hey, every once in a while we go to the Olive Garden and we have a waiter that ruins your week.
Oh, dude, did I talk about that?
I don't think you did. I don't remember.
We went to the Olive Garden. Okay, listen. No disrespect to this guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He was nice to us. But he walks up to the table, okay? And I'm the only one that notices this of our group. Like, neither of our fiancés notice this. Bryce doesn't notice this. I'm the only one that's not out to lunch, I guess. He's just like a normal looking dude, right? He's got just like a normal nose, kind of like this, just like normal eyes, normal mouth. He's a little awkward, you know, normal hair.
But he's nice.
But he's nice, little awkward, and then right in just like on this semi-normal face, he's just got like a booger, like right here, like dried up on the side of his face, and I'm like, nobody else notices this but me. And then he leaves and he comes back like to get our drinks, and when he comes back, it's still there. And then one of the other waitresses, she walks up to him and she like whispers something at him, and I'm like, okay, somebody's finally fucking telling him. And then he comes back and he still has it, so she wasn't telling him. I like wanted to say something about it, but it was just too awkward. It was just too much, and it kind of ruined my appetite. I'm not gonna lie. That's my Olive Garden story.
He did only eat half of his Olive Garden. But in fairness to that guy, we did also eat Texas Roadhouse about 3 hours early. We did eat at a Texas.
It was longer than that.
We went out to eat at like 5. Well, I guess yeah, we ate at like 11. You're right. We did eat at a Texas Roadhouse that had failed its health inspection because we walked in and we really wanted steak, and it was 11 a.m. in the morning, and we saw that they had failed. And we saw it said they had failed for like dirty plates and meat contamination. And you know, we were just kind of like, oh, fuck it, if we die, we die. And you know what? The first plates they brought out to us were dirty.
They had, well, it's weird because they like leave plates on the table, and I've been to different Texas Roadhouses, and that's like been a pretty consistent thing. Whatever the method that restaurant has for washing those plates, like the bread plates, it's not good.
And then we both got our steaks, and we always get our steaks medium rare. And she brings out these 2 piddly little steaks. I mean, they're like dollar store steaks. They're really thin, like it's crazy. And Scott and I look at them, and she walks away, and we cut into them. And I mean, they're both like gray. I mean, they're as well done as they can get without being like fully burnt on the outside.
It's basically charcoal.
And then she comes over and Scott's like, yeah, our steaks are a little overcooked. And she looks down at it, and then she looks up at us and she goes, is that not medium rare? And we were
she did say that. And
we were like, no, it's not. But it's okay because the food we got after that was mid. So it didn't really get much better, if I'm being honest. But the onion was good.
Sad because that Roadhouse is usually good.
Yeah, it's usually pretty good.
Just in the morning, I guess they just...
If you want like a $20 steak, it's really hard to find better around us, I feel like. In most places, like that's kind of how it is. I mean, because your options for like a $20 steak are like a Roadhouse or an Outback or a Longhorn.
Nobody likes Longhorn.
See, it's weird because where I lived in Baltimore, the other two places sucked and the Longhorn was the only good one. So that's what I associate with being the good one. But I only had those three specific ones. The Roadhouse that was near us growing up was fucking awful. It was really gross.
Did they fail their health inspection?
I don't know. I've never seen the health inspection on the door thing. Is that like a thing for Kentucky?
I guess. I don't know.
I had never encountered that in my life before. That's why I thought it was neato that the one place that you and I go to constantly had it. And then I started seeing it. Like I realized the Olive Garden had it, and like the Texas Roadhouse had it, and then I was like, "Is this just a thing?" Because like I said, I'd never seen that before.
Gun safety here.
Yeah. How often do you guys let personal experiences and events and what in your life influence your works? If they do, I mean. I feel like we don't ever really intentionally go like, ooh, we want to write. Okay, well, actually, it's kind of funny because right now we are actually doing that. But excluding this one time, there's one story we're working on right now. We don't ever really let like stuff directly like, ooh, this happened. Let's make a book about this or whatever. Most of the time I feel like it comes like indirectly or like we don't notice it till later. I would say that every book has it. Like every book is drawn from life experiences or things we've gone through, either like actual events or like mental things or stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that it's ever something we like sit down and try to do on purpose. More so something we notice afterwards. Or like we kind of realize and like run with a little bit.
I think that's a fair answer.
Like with Kindred Heavens, a big example or a good example is like the big theme of the book with Isabel is like never giving up and like chasing her dreams and stuff even when people tell her not to. And a lot of that, like we didn't like go into that like, oh, we want to write a book about this. We just used our own experiences and our own feelings to make it not just more realistic but more like personable to us. And so I would say that's how we use that a lot more than like specifically trying to create something like something we experienced. The plates are funny because it's the same thing everywhere. They are just bad at washing dishes. You know what place isn't bad at washing dishes? The Olive Garden.
True.
Apparently
they're so good at washing dishes that all the dishes they bring you are wet.
That is actually true. It's kind of weird. It kind of makes me a little uncomfortable. The only problem with the Olive Garden near us is that if you ever go on a time that is not like just like randomly in the middle of the week, you'll be there for like 2.5 hours.
It's very poppin'.
Like it's your whole night if you want to eat Olive Garden on the weekend. Now, granted, the thing I will say about the food always tastes the same. Like it's never been bad. I noticed that Lucia sometimes has ear clip-ons and sometimes she doesn't. Is there any reason behind that?
I think they go with certain outfits and not with other outfits. So that's pretty much the reason. It's not that deep. I wish I had a better... Sometimes people ask me questions like, "Oh, why do you do this thing?" And like, I think they're expecting like a series, like I guess they're expecting a reason other than just like, I think it looks good to do it sometimes. Like, this outfit is more, I think for more, I guess, brash outfits, I think it looks better.
I think a lot of that comes from the fact that Lucia doesn't really have like an established, like you just kind of do what you want with her. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like, I think people a lot of times expect there is a reason specific to her character or like something for her design or something. But since her design outside of the Pantybear book is relatively fluid and just kind of whatever you want, I think that's why most of your answers just come off like that. Like, I think if somebody asked you a similar question about Isabel or about like Lucia in the Pantybear book, you'd probably have like a more concrete, solid answer.
Possibly, yeah.
Especially because a lot of times for designs that we do in books and stuff, we actually like I write them and like we talk about them and stuff. So they actually have a lot of reason for like typically like the reason a character wears something or does something. Because goddamn it, if I want a character to wear something, I will not only write it in the script, I will write it and give a whole explanation so that he can't take it from me. The closest Olive Garden to me is next to an abandoned Sears.
Not Sears.
I went to a job interview at Sears one time, and I stood up and left in the middle of it.
Yeah, why'd you stand up and leave, Chris?
Because I was a stupid, like, 18-year-old. And so I just...
True.
I was sitting there, and I was just like, And I just got up and left. Do artists nut to their own erotic artwork?
I'm sure some of them do.
I've always heard the answer people have always said, or I've heard a lot, is it's too hard to not just view it as normal work. Like, it's not really like you it's just like any other piece of art. And so like you just see all your flaws and all your junk in it.
The analogy that I always use is that people, or I think artists for the most part tend to view their artwork like the anatomy portion of it like a doctor. You know what I mean? Like a doctor going in for surgery isn't like, oh, boobies. You know, I'm sure some of them are, but you know, I think that it's similar to that. Like yesterday, I was just working on that GIF that I have uploaded today, and Amy just walked in and seen boobs on my screen, like pulled up for reference, and she found it very funny. I'm like, yeah, I just didn't even think anything about it.
I mean, it is your literal job. The best part about
these boobs feed us. They buy that Olive Garden.
that is actually true. The best thing we ever did with Lucia, kind of accidentally, because you know we never knew that she would be more popular outside of the book than in, was give her a name that we can just use with shit. Like the fact that I was just able to name the Twitter post today Boopsia, and the fact that we're able to do that so much with her name. It's like legitimately one of the best things about her entire character to me. So good on us for not naming her like Lucille, or because I think originally we were gonna do like Lucille or something, or Lucilia, right? That's what
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was originally actually Lucilia. So that's a bit of lore for anybody, is that I think we were originally gonna name her Lucilia, but then we cut that and we just changed it to Lucia. I don't remember why. I don't remember.
We probably just forgot her actual name.
That happened with her last name. We had two last names for her. It was Lancaster's her actual last name, right? There was another one though that was like in the script, I think. Like I think I wrote it in the script. Lockhart. It was Lockhart. It was Lucilia Lockhart. It was Lucia Lockhart. And then I think I wrote that in the original Pantybear script, and you forgot that she had a last name, and so you just made up Lancaster on the spot, and we just never changed it back. Did the name Lucia come from the character from Fire Emblem? I don't know who that character is, so no.
I assume her name's Lucia.
Well, I mean, I assume.
But no.
No, it probably came from fantasynamegenerator.com. I think it probably came from like the witch generator or the vampire generator or something like that. If I had to take a guess, that's what Scott and I use for every name. It's the goated website. I will forever support that website and push it out. Everyone, that website's good.
That's one of those gets whitelisted in the ad blocker.
Yeah,
website.
That's one of those when they say like, hey, please let us make money off ads. I do it. People are saying which site? Give me 1 second here. I'll drop a link for it. This website, it can give you any kind of name you need at any kind of time. It's the greatest website ever created.
Except for BrysonScott.store.
That is true. It is great. They also plant trees. I don't really know how or what they do, but I know that when you use the site, they plant a bunch of trees. And the person that makes it seems super cool. Like I don't know. Seems like they just made it because they wanted people to have names. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger every time. Yeah, it just keeps adding more. Yeah, every time I go there, there's just a ton of new generators. Really more than you could ever need. But literally, most things you can think of, it has a name generator for. I see a lot of artists drawing women. Is it because they are more difficult to draw?
No, I think a lot of artists just like drawing women. They're quite fun to draw. They have interesting shapes and forms. Boobs. People quite enjoy drawing boobs. I really think that's probably the only answer. And also, you probably see more of it because it's more popular online. You don't see a lot of guys or a lot of artists that get by just drawing guys, because it doesn't tend to do as well. So that's probably why you see more of that. Is that they're fun to draw and they're fun to look at, so they do better online. If that makes sense.
Just do that, or the real trick is just draw floating hands whenever you have to draw men, or floating groins. That's the real secret.
With white gloves.
Yeah, with white gloves. Why is it always white gloves?
Oh, actually, I don't know.
But it is. It's really
I think
strange.
It's supposed to be reminiscent of old cartoons. The old Mickey cartoons and whatnot.
Scott, what drawing pad and software do you use?
I use Adobe Photoshop, much to the chagrin of everybody that watches our streams.
How much do you pay a month?
$10.
How much could you... Doesn't CSP have a subscription thing now, too?
Probably.
I thought that was like a gimmick from last year. I thought everyone was upset about it.
I think they released CSP2, and that's what the streaming or subscription service is. I don't know. I don't use CSP, so I don't know. But
wow.
Yeah, I pay $10 a month for this. And as for my tablet, I use Wacom 16 thing. Wacom 16 is what I use.
You heard it here first. I had an XP Pen 4-inch for a while.
You had a 4-incher.
Jesus Christ. I can't even make a stupid joke without you making a stupid joke. Ooh, this is a fun question because it's serious. Did y'all ever have any aspirations shut the fuck up when going into your careers? Did Scott want to get... I feel like I've told you to shut the fuck up a lot lately. I'm not sorry about it, but I just feel like I have.
You're a bad friend.
Did Scott want to get to a certain level... I'll just read the whole question. Did y'all ever have any aspirations going into your careers? Did Scott want to get to a certain level of artistry? Bryce, do you want to write a particular story and have it received well? I would say for our joint careers... I would say our aspiration has always just been to make stuff that makes people feel the way we did when we were 16. Like I've always wanted to write books that like make people like whatever that feeling is that I felt when I was like 15 or 16 and like really loving comics and really wanting to make comics. If I could write, like I feel like our goal has always been to kind of either has been to make people feel that way or to make that version of ourselves proud. Like the people that we were at 16 that were dreaming of being where we are now, and didn't care whether we made it or not and just wanted to make it because we loved it. I feel like we do a lot of our writing to sort of could carry that legacy on or that feeling on. I don't know. For our joint careers, at least, that's how I feel most of the time.
Yeah, I think it's like he said, it's a lot about we idolized certain things growing up, like Naruto and just like stuff. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just about making stuff that makes people happy. Like people, you know, we were super invested in like Naruto, Dragon Ball, shit like that, and it's like I really think we just want to make stuff like that. Like seeing people get excited about our work, that's the feeling that we really just love and want to keep chasing. Because that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So as far as like a certain level of skill or artistry, I don't know that I would say that. I would say that it's more about like a reaction or a certain level of like making people happy with it, or giving people a certain feeling. I think that's always been more important to us than, like a level of skill. Because like you can make all the stuff as skilled as you want to, but if it doesn't give people that kind of reaction that you want, it doesn't make people happy or get them invested. Like, what does it really matter? At least that's to us, like our approach. Like, I mean, people make things for different reasons. Sometimes people make things just because they want to make things, and that's okay too. And we definitely do enjoy making stuff. It's just like we want to give people a good time, make people happy.
We both
have give people a thing to have a reaction to.
I feel like we get a lot more enjoyment out of having made something than the act of making something. Like, I really love when we're done something and people are enjoying it and consuming it or talking about it, or at the very least, if they're not, we're proud of it or we're happy with it, than the act of making things. And I feel like for writing, and I was assuming this for you drawing, that's kind of part of the reason. Like, I really love writing. And like I know Scott really loves drawing, but I really the reason I do it is more because I like to finish things and like have things out and stuff like that. Yeah, and then I guess as far as like did you want to write a particular story and received well, or Scott, did you have a certain level of artistry? At least on my end, when I was starting, I didn't really have an aspiration of like wanting to, like, I didn't have a certain book that I was like, oh, I want to write this book or anything like that. I just wanted to, it's sort of the same thing of just like, I just wanted to make books. I didn't really care if Scott and I will say one thing we were really good about when we were younger, and that strangely I feel like we've actually gotten worse at as we've gotten older, is when we were younger, we didn't really care about quality at all. Like, for the first, like, few years of our writing crew, we, like, didn't really consider whether something was good or not. I feel like we had a pretty good grasp on the fact that we, like, needed to improve a lot. And so a lot of it was more just, like, we were just really just writing things that we thought were fun early. So I would say that was our biggest aspiration, starting out at least, was just to make things that were fun. It's kind of the same.
I will say this too. I think that a big aspiration, I know for starting out, and I think it's still there, is we really wanted to make like a long form shonen-y comic, like in the vein of like Naruto and Dragon Ball, like that stuff that we grew up really loving. That was our first attempt at doing anything together. That's what it was trying to do a story like that. And then we realized, like, okay, that's actually really hard to do. Like, do something that's 1,000 chapters long or whatever, and
especially when you're not anybody yet.
Yeah, so that's something that we've not done, but that we would really, someday, I mean, we have ideas for things and stuff we'd like to do. But that's definitely something on the bucket list.
Yeah, I don't know when we would do it, but it's one of those kind of things. Whenever we do it, that will be our career for a while, which I think is why we haven't done it yet. Is because we would probably be committed to whatever that thing is for a chunk of our careers. We probably already know what the book is going to, or the story is going to be even. Because we had one that we worked on way back when that we were very in love with. Which would actually be really funny now because we're such good friends with Echo and the main girl was named Echo. But we can't change that. It's too firm in my mind. And we'd probably go back to that. But yeah, that was I'd forgotten about that.
So one day we'll have a big long shonen for you guys to read.
Then Feline said, Bryce, when writing characters, do you think if possible you should try and have actual meaning behind the name? Or does it have to sound good? How do you pick a good name for a character? This is a fun question to ask me. I put zero meaning behind the name of any character I ever create. If there is ever a meaning to a name, assume Scott came up with it. Because I hate naming characters. I just go to Fantasy Name Generator and just pick the first thing that sounds cool. So for me personally, I don't... Very, very seldomly do I think a name ever needs any purpose because it never really seems like anything that you would mention other than a time where you're like just fishing for something to talk about to somebody. Or like unless it's like really pertinent to the story, which I think very rarely a name would be very like important to a story. So for me, I just pick something that sounds cool. I think it's much more important to have a name that is memorable or a name that sounds interesting than a name that has logical explanation or like a lore-based explanation. That's my take on it.
Really, I'm the name guy most of the time. Bryce is just really not picky about names, and I'm very
if
picky
it were
about
me,
names.
Every name would be Abigail, because that's like I feel like for every story, like because basically what happens is I have like a laundry list of like 20 names that over the past like 8 years. I just send Scott the same names, basically. And every time he picks one out, I just remove him from the list. Not like intentionally, but that's just kind of how it feels. Because I feel like a lot of times I send him the exact same names. So at some point we stopped doing that and Scott started coming up with the names. Although I think for a lot of our early stuff, the names were me. I think everything probably up until CC. So like all of the Panty Bear, I think all of CC, Artemis, I think all of those the names, but they were like I gave Scott a list of names and he picked one out. I think after that we stopped doing that, and now most of the time it's just we start working on something, you find names really early for it.
Yeah, you're just not picky. You just like you'll be like, I need a name for this main character.
Jake.
It's Dave.
It's true. It'll be like a fantasy book, and the character's name will be like Josh. It's a real problem. I've had to catch myself with it. I've gotten a lot better about it as the years have gone on, but I have this problem of when I'm writing something, I just want to keep momentum going, and so I just throw a name in. But the problem is like I just keep that name, like I'm lazy. It's like one of the few parts of writing I'm pretty lazy about is names.
Meanwhile, I'll go on Fantasy Name Generator. I will search and flick through names for hours to find like the perfect one.
I just use the Witch Generator. I've used the Witch Generator so many times at this point I don't even know if I could get a new name out of it.
I know I can't. I don't even go to it because I have all of them memorized.
Did you guys have any inspirations for your work other than anime or manga? When we were younger, like just starting out, I would probably say no, not real. Not that we didn't have other things we liked, but like all of our early inspiration was just the anime and because that's what we were really into when we were like 15. Like we were the anime and manga kids. Nowadays I would say it comes from all over the place.
Yeah.
Like it
I think one of the first things like non-anime and manga that we took inspiration from was actually wrestling.
Like yeah, I would say the Panty Bear is more inspired. It's really interesting to me, and I'm not saying it's not, but a lot of people attribute the Panty Bear to being like really inspired by Kill la Kill and stuff like that. And it definitely is, and that was kind of our intent, was that we really liked those like really wacky, fast-paced action things. But honestly, more than anything, it's inspired by wrestling. Like everything in that screen, like it literally, the book is paced like a pro wrestling match. The fights are paced like I literally based fights off of certain pro wrestling matches. So yeah, I would definitely say wrestling, and I would still say wrestling to this day. Wrestling and MMA both.
Yeah, for sure.
But we take interest from movies a lot. Especially like certain people like Tarantino and Scorsese were really big fans of. A lot of random stuff, music, books, like normal books. I would say behind like wrestling and sports and stuff, and like movies, the next biggest inspiration is probably like history.
Yeah,
we take a lot of our characters, because Scott and I are both really big into history. And it works kind of well because Scott is really big into people and I'm really big into like eras. So he can tell you a lot about like one specific person from history, and I can tell you a lot about like an era of history. Because we both read history books a lot. And so a lot of our, even if it's like, it might be something totally random, like we might be just writing a normal book and like we'll just pull a lot of random references. History is like the greatest reference for anything. I'm being 110% honest. I also have a hobby that really helps us in that regard, that makes Scott think I'm a psychopath, where like I fill every empty minute of my day with just sitting on Wikipedia and reading Wikipedia articles. And so True. If I'm eating, I just read Wikipedia. If I'm pissing, I'm literally not joking, I'll just like read Wikipedia. If I'm just sitting there on break for a few minutes, I just like go through just like all kinds of random shit from history. Mostly I just read a lot of like random, and I don't do it like just like to consume a lot. It's just a thing I've always done, like since I was a kid. I don't know why, because I get really fascinated by random things. And so nowadays it just happens to work out, and it just helps me a lot, because a lot of times I'll just like have a random pool, like I'll randomly remember something I read. Bye, Feline.
Bye, Feline.
Did you guys do the Naruto run in the lunchroom? No, we weren't like really outward about it, I would say. I don't think either of us really talked much about anime or manga with anyone else. I think we kept it pretty locked tight.
See, what you young people don't understand is it used to not be cool.
That is true. When we were in school, it was not the thing you talked about, which is really weird, because I feel like that change happened really quick after we got out of school.
Yeah, because when we were in school, you could talk about like Dragon Ball Z, like that was like the one.
Because everyone watched Dragon Ball Z growing up. Like it was like a cartoon, not an anime, essentially.
Yeah, and then outside of that, like some people would talk about Naruto because it was airing, but not nearly as much as Dragon Ball Z. Outside of that, you just didn't talk about it. Like nobody was talking about like any other types of anime. It's just like if there was a popular shonen, like One Piece maybe, but even that at the time, not quite as much.
Definitely not Naruto. Naruto was like, you were immediately outcasted if you talked. I don't know why. It just had that. It had a really negative connotation with like people that didn't like anime. Anime didn't get cool until Attack on Titan dropped, maybe SAO. See, it was even later than that, in my opinion, because that I definitely made it more mainstream. But the first season of Attack on Titan came out when I was like a freshman. I feel like it was more like the My Hero, Demon Slayer, like that era that made it really popular with just like the average teenager. And now I just feel like it just keeps getting more, like with Jujutsu Kaisen and all these things, I feel like it just keeps getting more and more popular. Whereas when, like I said, when we were in high school, like I literally remember I like just told a kid that I liked Naruto, and he was like, I can't believe you like that shit, you're such a dork. And I got that a lot when I was like 15, 16. And I'm sure it was the kind of thing, it's just like different schools and different areas, just like it took to at different times. But I don't know. Like when I was in high school, there wasn't like, it wasn't like you could just like go in, like nowadays you can go in any store and there's anime merch. Especially stores that used to be for emo kids are now for anime kids, like Hot Topic and shit like that. It's so weird. Not weird in a bad way. It's very different.
I remember when like the first anime I remember coming out, or like the first time I remember it being talked about and it not being like as big of a deal or like getting groans was around the time that like Tokyo Ghoul was coming out.
Yeah,
but
true.
That was still just like the anime kids would talk about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like everybody was watching it. I think Attack on Titan probably was the first one that like a lot of people watched that weren't big into anime. But yeah, no, it definitely did. I don't know. It happened really quickly. But yeah, I think around the time that like My Hero came out, I also went to school in the Deep South. Which, as maybe you could imagine, is not
that is true, but I went to school in Maryland and I still like, it wasn't very popular when I graduated. But granted, I graduated a year before you, so
it happened quick.
It was literally like 2016, 2017, the whole shit flipped. Like it was very quick. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing. But yeah, when we were younger, it was definitely we weren't very social about it. But granted, I mean, that just kind of happens. Like with my sister, like when she was growing up, games weren't the cool thing to talk about. But then when I was growing up, everyone played games. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like everyone played video games. It wasn't really considered much of a nerdy thing anymore. And I feel like that's the weird thing with like stuff that's considered like nerdy and worth, or like people like kind of view it like as a thing to outcast somebody for. It kind of like, once it gets more popular, it just that status kind of fades from it.
Or Call of Duty was the big thing when I was in school.
That is true, yeah.
For at least when I was like in middle schoolish.
It was big in high school for us too. I just feel like it was less of a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like, I remember like when MW3 came out, bro, every dude at my school was talking about it. It was like everyone was, which is weird because MW3 was like one of the only ones of that era I didn't play. But like I remember fucking everyone was excited about it.
How do you use Fantasy Name Generator? You just find a gender generator, like which name generator, and then you click on generate.
Yeah, at the
you
top,
can generate male or female names.
Here, I have it pulled up. I'll show it real quick. So at the top, you'll have a bunch of things. You have like these, like say you want a fantasy name, you click that. This big ass list will come up. And you just click one of them, like Minotaur names. Then you just go here and you have male, gender neutral, female names. You just pick one you like and you just keep going until you find it. Also up here, it gives you explanations for how the names are made and stuff. So some of them won't give you great names. You just got to keep going around until you find one.
Find a generator that sort of fits the vibe of what you're going for. We tend to like names that sound a little bit more old school, I guess, like Lucia, Isabel, Abigail, Meryl, like stuff like that. So we use the witch generator.
I never realized until you said that, but we do use a lot of
names. Oh yeah, that's definitely our aesthetic, is like old names.
Well, it's because of you.
Dorothy.
Holy shit.
I was at a nurse.
You're blowing my mind.
I was at a nursing home and I was just like walking down the hallway and I was looking at the names on the doors of the patients. And I was like, wow, we've used a lot of these names before.
They're good names.
Yeah, Dorothy, people knew how to make names back then.
Dorothy is a banger of a name, though. Bye, Matt. Hope you have a good rest of your night.
Bye, Matt.
I'm the same, but with TV tropes. Speaking of TV tropes, that's a website that I've never really used. I don't know why. I just don't really have much experience with it. Like I've seen it and I've been to it before, but there's a Panty Bear TV tropes page.
That is true.
Which is pretty cool because like it's really in depth. So I don't know who made it. But if they actively watch us or are a fan of us still, that's I hope you are. I hope we didn't scare you off. But thank you. It's really cool. I can't pretend that I fully understand it because, like I said, I don't use the website a lot. But it's really cool. I guess I could see if I could find it real quick.
Available for purchase at brysonscott.store or amazon.com.
Or amazon.com. Oh, I meant to drop the links to TV Tropes, but instead I dropped the link to the brysonscott.store. Well,
oh man, it's crazy.
But yeah, it's just like the Panty Bear TV Tropes. So that's pretty cool. Thank you to whoever made that.
Yeah, I got a good kick out of reading it.
It was just how detailed it is.
It was a legit hardcore fan of the Panty Bear.
Useful. All the sites I need to I normally find are something like babynames.com. Yeah, those websites suck. Except I will say there's this one. It actually might just be like, I think it's a government website. Actually, I think it's just like the Social Security website or something. I don't remember. That lists like the top 100 names from each decade of the United States. Have you ever used that before, Scott?
I have. Yes.
It's great. It goes back for like a long time. You can go back to like the 1800s and shit. You can, so like if you're writing a story in a specific, I know I used that one for we were working on Kindred Heavens. I know I looked at that one a lot for like the random names I had to do because a lot of times what'll happen is Scott will establish the general theme of naming for a story because we do typically name on some kind of theme, not always like specifically, but a lot of times we'll like have like everyone has names from this era, or everyone has names that kind of sound like this, or stuff like that. Or for example, like in CC, all the forest critters have names that end with Iki, so it's like Miki, Riki, Tiki, stuff like that. But he'll pick like the names of the big characters, and then when I'm writing, if there's a character that needs a name, like the mechanics in Kindred Heavens, I know, for example, like I know I named all of them. Scott, can you name all 4 of the mechanics in Kindred Heavens?
Like the main mechanics?
Mm-hmm.
Horace, Marcel, Marco, and Leo.
Goddamn.
I've drawn them many times. Are you gonna make it?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. My throat's going out. A while back, you told me that you struggled to name them all. That's why I asked.
Oh, I meant like when we started working on it, like before I started drawing it. But when I actually had to draw them a whole bunch of times, it's like
there were a lot.
I know my boys
before. There was like 4 other mechanics in the book. That got cut. I don't remember any of their names. But yeah, they used to be a lot more.
I remember the prostitute's name.
Huh?
I said I remember the prostitute's name.
She's still in the book. But she's not a prostitute anymore.
Yeah, Bryce had a weird thing about making several of the characters prostitutes.
Well, actually, no. It sounds bad when you say it like that. We had a misunderstanding about 2 specific characters. One of them was supposed to be a prostitute. Let me clarify. That was the original not character idea, but a thing for the character. But we cut that when we made the book younger aged. And the other one was kind of a prostitute, but for a different reason. But Scott and I, we were. It was a weird misunderstanding. I don't know how to describe it.
She was never kind of a prostitute. She just was not.
I had an idea and Scott misunderstood it, and I thought he understood it and he didn't understand it, and so we both had a misunderstanding. There are no prostitutes in Kindred Heavens.
Although now that we're self-publishing, well, I guess it depends.
It fits less. Well, we'd still be self-publishing, kind of. I guess.
True.
Like I would still say it's self-publishing. Either way, we can safely say that the Kindred Heavens Kickstarter isn't far away. With the book finally being done.
Yeah, book's been finished for a couple weeks now.
So
just gotta get some deets sorted out.
Just have to hear back from a few certain people about a few certain things.
See a man about a horse.
Really, it doesn't change anything for you guys if we hear back or not from the people we're waiting to hear back from. It just changes some details for us. But I guess I trying to be as secretive as we can real quick, just so I don't forget this now. Are we trying to launch that before the other thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we want it soon, because the other thing's in July, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be before July, because there's another thing in July. So be saving up if you want to support us, because boy, we're putting out a lot of stuff this year.
Want your money? One of the you can get Kindred Heavens for very cheap.
Kindred Heavens will be $15 just for the book, I think.
I think you can get the digital copy for what,
$5?
$5?
Yeah, digital copy will be $5. You can get the actual book for $15. It is a 104-page book in full color, actual comic book size. So not manga size, but a bit bigger.
The other thing, not as cheap.
The other thing will be expensive. Who knows what it could be?
I don't expect all of you to buy it. Just most of you.
It's gonna be pretty cool. $15 for 104 pages is crazy. Not for a colored book. I have mangas that are shorter than that are $12, $13. You also have to account for the fact that it is self-published. So the reason books that are sold by big publishers are cheaper is because I meant Crazy Good. Okay, sorry. Well, I guess
I was confused by why you were.
Well, I get really nervous when we price stuff because I'm always nervous about overpricing things. So I always, because I'm the price man.
To price me.
Typically I'm the one, which is weird because I'm so bad at numbers, but typically I'm the one because I know all the details about everything that comes up with the prices of everything. So all the prices of all of our tiers on the stuff, I mean, they're run by Scott. He helps me with them, but I'm the one that drafts the idea and runs all the numbers for it. But I guess to give some reasoning is that the book probably could be cheaper if we were had like a publisher behind us or something, but because it's been funded and created by us without any kind of advance or any kind of bonus or anything. We have to charge what we have to charge to make certain amounts of profit and stuff back.
I want to have her ponytail be dyed.
Well, then do it. You're an artist.
I am, but what color should it be?
Well, what color do you want it to be?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Blue.
What color should her ponytail be?
That's what's been suggested so far.
Okay. We can try blue.
That's not blue.
You're right.
This is crazy. He's lying. Purple is another suggestion.
I just got to get it down, and then we can pick different colors.
But yeah, so I guess if the one thing's in July, then we have to do Kindred Heavens in June, right? So I guess we can say that at this point because it has to be then.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan.
So basically in June and end of May, June, beginning of June-ish, Kindred Heavens will be going. And then we have another thing in July. Then I think that'll be our last big thing until the end of the year.
Yeah.
Unless we do like another like makeshift thing or something. Which I don't know if we will. I don't mean that in a bad way. We've not talked with them at all about it. But there won't be any more books this year. But next year there will be. Probably 2 books next year, right? I would think.
What 2 books are next year?
The Secret Project would probably be done sometime next year, and then Kindred Heavens 2 probably near the end of the year, like very tail end of the year, right?
Yeah. Although, well,
or I mean,
this is only it could be done like early next year.
That is fair, I guess, depending on how long it takes to get us going. So we could be, yeah, the other project could be mid next year. Kindred Heavens 2 could be early next year. And then maybe there'd be even something else. I don't know. We have a lot of time left to write something and end up doing something. But those two are at least 2 things that are almost certainly happening next year. Hey, if we could do 2 books every year, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're definitely we've already done the Pandy Bear, and then we're doing Kindred Heavens 1. You know, this self-publishing thing's kind of cool.
I've been enjoying it.
So have I, actually.
We got a printer now. Not like a book printer, just like a normal inkjet printer.
That is true. It's not like we're printing our books from home.
No, we just got it for our scan sheets for when we go to the post office, so they don't have to individually scan in like 100 books. 100 books.
You know, we're almost out of labels.
Is that true?
No, we have like 400 left.
Oh.
I was just fucking with you. I feel like we'll never.
Well, you got me.
I feel like we'll never run out of labels. This label, like the stack of labels you handed me, I don't know how much you bought, how much you spent, but I just feel like I've not seen it even dwindle since we've started.
Don't think it was very much.
I suggested blue, but purple goes best. Also, have you?
Well, I gotta wait till I get the rest of the colors down. Yeah.
Also, have you ever put Lucia in a suit? Women in suits have been insanely sexy lately. You've done like a secretary type suit.
Yeah, I don't think I've done like a. Well, I did a Scarface suit, but I've not posted that yet.
I would say that counts. I mean, it's still a suit.
Yeah, I can pull that up. I'll tease it if I can find it. It's a really stupid little drawing that I did, actually. It's but funny. It's Lucia as Tony Montana.
It's pretty funny.
Pizza boxes.
That of all the lewds you've ever, like lewd variants you've ever done, this one you did, and then you went, this one also needs a lewd variant. Like, that's really funny to me that this is the one draw. Scott saw this and he went, I gotta lewd this version.
What can I say? See, now that the colors are down, I can see that does not work. Maybe they were right about the purple.
Second pick where Lucia face plants into the pizza box. Dude, you should have done that. Like the cocaine fucking slam, but with the pizza box. Missed opportunity. So when you do like random little like drawings like that, is it just like you just want to do something silly?
Kind of, usually, yeah.
You know, I got to do that earlier today. It's pretty fun. Makes me. I should do that more often.
It's good, right?
It's kind of, yeah. It was kind of relaxing just to write something super fucking crazy.
Know why she has an AK-47 in one of these poses?
Well, she's a hazard. She's dangerous.
Dangerous.
I got that shampoo, by the way, so my hair is going to be super pink again here soon. Or it won't work, and it'll just dye my skin pink. And I'll just melt. I don't know.
Yeah, when Bryce first got his hair dyed, I told him to buy that, and then he didn't. And then
Actually,
it started to fade.
No. In a little bit of defense to me, you said, I'll tell my Amy to send it to you. And she sent it to me about a week ago.
And it did take you like a whole week to buy it.
It did. But you were like, I told him beforehand. And you did, but you didn't follow through on your end of the bargain until about a week ago. It did take me about a week to buy it. But... Well, because at first she sent me 2 things, and it was going to be like $80. And I was like, well, I don't care about this that much. And then she told me I just needed the shampoo. Great that she told me that about 10 minutes after she sent it. So it still did wait.
I remember her telling you.
I still did wait like a week, but
you're the worst.
It just takes me a while to do things.
It takes you a long time to do almost anything.
That it is really hard to get me to function.
I tried to get him to come over for a cookout, and he was like, I just got to sit and think on it. I just got to contemplate. I got to stew on this for a while.
I was pretty skeptical even until the day of. And it's nothing against Scott. It's just how I am. I don't know. I'm a weird guy. If it isn't something related to video games or something related to work, I don't know, man. I really don't have much gumption.
No hoot spa.
That is true.
No fucking hoot spa at all.
Free food, Bryce. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can, even if you try and entice me with free food, it doesn't. Like during the day of, he was like, hey, do you have hamburger buns? I'm gonna need you to bring them over. And I was like, man, this might be the sign that that it's all falling apart. I don't know. It was a good time though. It wasn't a cookout though. We didn't get to actually cook out.
No, because apparently grilling's a pain in the ass.
Which is why I was right to be skeptical about it, for the reason. I wasn't skeptical about the cookout. I was skeptical about grilling.
But there was had.
Huh?
I said there was food that was had.
It was very
Why,
good.
can you not hear? Are you deaf?
Well, no, you actually did cut out there. In fairness, you did, yes. That time you did. Every other time I've just been stupid, and I'll be honest about that. You know, Scott, for someone who is committed to dyeing her braid, you keep turning off the layer with the dyed braid.
Yeah, because I can't fill in the base colors with it on.
Wow, that sounds like a fucking excuse. Wow, okay, now I feel bad. No, I'm sad.
What was really good? That pizza that we had during the UFC show. It was even better than usual, I thought.
The pizza?
Yeah.
I actually thought the pizza was worse than it normally was. Maybe I just got unlucky.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about me. I don't like pizza when it's really hot. I think pizza is much better. I don't like it cold. I won't drink or I won't eat cold pizza.
What do you do when you normally get a pizza? Did I do like some secret thing?
I don't know. I just normally order a pizza, but just usually it comes more hot than that. Like it comes, but
so
it was like
I guess is that it was colder.
Yeah. Like
because
when I get a pizza, I usually will wait for it. But our Dasher just couldn't find the apartment.
Yeah, it was. So it was a rough time.
It took a while to get there, and then it was a little colder, so I liked it more.
I was gonna say all I did was it was an extra cheese pizza, and then I got the like 6 cheese bread. Oh fuck, dog! You're making me want pizza.
That's the point I was getting at, is that I've wanted pizza since.
Oh man, you're making me want pizza, but I gotta cook tonight. Oh, I could really not cook. Yo, thank you for raiding Sulky Cats with a party of 41.
Oh, thank you. Welcome everybody.
We were
Bryce,
just talking about pizza.
Do this spiel.
I wrote a girl.
Introduce us.
And nobody read her book, and then Scott started drawing boobs of her, and then everyone likes her. And now we're Twitter famous. And here we are. Thank you for the raid. Was that good? Did I do better?
Yeah, that was pretty good. That really sums us up.
And then yeah, and so now people do read our books, And you know what? Is that if you want to read her book now to make us feel better about the fact that nobody originally read it, you can now buy a physical print version of it at BryceandScott.store. Or if you are from the parts of the world that are not America, you can go to Scott's Twitter. Link
worst
there.
Parts.
Wow. Okay. And you can look. You can buy it on Amazon. You flustered me with that. You can buy it on Amazon. Yeah. The book is called The Panty Bear. In the book, she fights with magical, superpowered panties. It is not a porn comic, despite the fact that everyone thinks it's a porn comic. But you can look at porn that we make on the Patreon if you're over 18 and have $5 to spare.
That was good. I think you plugged most of our things.
Also, if you come back in about a month, we'll have another book not related to this character that you can buy. And a month after that, we'll have something else that's very secretive that is much more expensive that will also be on sale. There we go. Did I plug everything? And next year, we're also releasing 2 more books. I think I got everything out of the way.
Good. Now remember that. We'll have to do that every time we get rated.
I'm gonna have to write that down and just like pull it out like the script. But the problem is it needs to be very jumbled or it's not like on brand. We can't ever say anything well, yeah. You know, since we just got a splurge of new people, you should show off a page from Kindred Heavens.
That's true.
Also, thank you for the raid, Sulky Cats. I hope your stream went well.
Thank you for the raid. Yeah, that's the part we always forget. That's not a page.
We're just hanging out. We're just vibing. We were talking about pizza. Actually, Scott doesn't like pizza that much. I like pizza a lot. We ate pizza together this weekend, though. Pizza. I mean, I don't know. It was good.
Look, it's pages from the book that's coming out next month-ish. But we don't know exactly for sure when.
But it will be next month.
It's not adult. It's all ages.
It is, yeah. It is a young book.
Buy it for your kids. If you don't have kids, have kids and buy it for them.
How did you guys meet? On Xbox Live at 11 years old playing Call of Duty Nazi Zombies.
True.
That's not a joke. That's genuinely serious. Bryce, do you miss Litos? I actually never ate at one of those when I lived in Maryland. I know what they are, but I never
I don't know what the hell that is.
It's a pizza chain in Maryland.
Oh. Man, I want pizza.
I actually don't know if I even had one near me where I was in Maryland. I mean, I think it's in other places other than Maryland, but it started in Maryland. It's like a Maryland thing. I don't remember ever having one really near me. I mean, I'm sure I did. But the thing about where I lived, there was so many pizza places. Like, just like random mom and pop ones. That it was just like, I don't know, I ate all kinds of pizza. So I'm sure I ate it at some point and just don't have any memory of it.
Are you okay?
No, I just had to do that whole ramble. I had to like be coherent for a second and I've lost it all now. Should we do
I heard that's tonight? Difficult for you. We might, I don't know.
Would you rather do pizza than cooking?
I also kind of need to cook because I have like 3 meals.
Oh, trust me, I need to. Yet. I have more meals than you do. Remember, I made the mistake of getting 6 meals.
True. But pizza's really good.
I don't think either of the Amy's would complain about pizza.
I know mine wouldn't.
I swear to God, you could feed your Amy pizza every single day and she'd be happy. She loves pizza. My Amy also loves pizza. What would y'all be cooking? I honestly don't even know.
I think I have like pork chops I have to make.
Mine is like also pork chops, I think. I also have a curry thing I need to make. I have half the things on the menu this week, so I mean, there's the high chance.
I was going to say, like...
See, I fucked up. I think I told this on stream, and I accidentally got 6 meals from HelloFresh this week. So I normally get 4, and just the day before this happened, I was telling Scott that I think I need to start getting 3, because I think 4 is too many to cook in a week, because I do like to go out to eat and eat like fast food, and I'm a junky person. But that makes it sound, I shouldn't say junky, it's a bad word. But then I fucked up and I got 6 by accident. and so now I can't let it all go to waste. So I've cooked 2 of them so far.
You cook them for lunch.
That's actually the plan. Tomorrow I'm gonna make 1 for lunch, and then I think me and Amy are gonna make another one for dinner. Really go crazy on it. Or maybe we should do that Friday, because tomorrow you and I might food crime. I got plans. I'll eat it all.
Got options.
So I guess we should probably decide before it hits like 5 o'clock.
I'm gonna text my Amy and ask if she wants pizza.
I'll message my Amy and ask if she wants pizza. I just assumed we'd be doing pizza together if we got pizza. I don't mean to intrude.
I mean, I don't think we should order pizza
just
separately.
Pizza separately.
I think that would be stupid.
Yeah, the last time we ordered pizza, it was at like 11 p.m. because we were watching the UFC show, and we went, man, we just ate a bunch of hamburgers and hot dogs. That's so American. Let's be more American and order pizza. I wish I was joking. And so then we ordered pizza, and the way it went is I ordered the pizza because I paid for it since Scott cooked us dinner. And ordering this pizza was like the biggest ordeal of my entire life. The app crashed on me like 5 times after I ordered the pizza. I had to uninstall the app and like order it through my phone, or like my web browser, which then crashed on me. So then I had to take Amy's phone and I had to use hers, and it finally went through. And then the guy got lost. Actually, no, the guy, it said the pizza's out for delivery, and the dude messaged and was like, "Listen, let me cook. I'm the only one here tonight. I'm the only one here making your pizza. It's gonna be late. I'm sorry." And we were like, okay. And then he got lost on the way here. And then I felt really bad because he was there and like he was just like sweaty and he looked miserable. He just looked like he was having a bad night. I felt really bad for him.
But then we ate the pizza and it was good.
It was good. But you know, we had a bad night too because it wasn't that good of a UFC show.
It was a really bad UFC
and we paid for it instead of doing other things that we could have done.
It was an awful UFC. It's one of the worst pay-per-views we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, we kind of knew that going in, so it's kind of our fault. But I think the next UFC show is really bad too, isn't it? Or is it the one afterwards?
Let me check.
The
one afterwards, they don't even have the whole card.
Well, one of them's the one where Nunez is main eventing. Okay, the next one is Nunez main eventing, and then Oliveira and Dariush. That's not bad. The problem is the rest of the card is really not good.
Wow, you're not kidding.
That card,
dude, that card sucks.
Yeah, really, Oliveira versus Dariush is the only good fight because you know Nunez is just gonna beat Aldana.
And I'm only semi-interested in that fight. The card after that, 290, has 2 title fights on it though.
290.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good card.
I think only 2 fights are announced so far, but
is that card gonna be in Mexico?
I don't
because
know,
the 2 main events are both like it's the Yair and Moreno. It'd be really stupid if they bungled that. Let's see. No, it's gonna be in Vegas.
Classic. I wonder if they're gonna try and get Grasso to headline the Mexico card.
Well, it really sucks because they have 2 Mexican champions on that card. So if they did the Mexico card, it would probably only be able to be Grasso.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if they're trying to get Grasso to headline it.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have Grasso headline a pay-per-view, though.
I mean, I don't know. Do you see how awful the Nunez pay-per-view is?
Well, after how bad the Nunez pay-per-view probably sells, they probably wouldn't want to do it again so soon.
That doesn't matter to them. Nunez has like the top 3 worst selling pay-per-views of all time or something like that.
Fair. Also, Miami said she would be down with pizza.
I don't even really have to wait for Miami to respond. I know that she'll eat pizza. She's like a raccoon. She'll just eat garbage if you give it to her.
But it's true. You're Amy. And you said this the other night, so I'm just repeating you. She never dislikes any food she eats. Like, she'll be like, "This is fucking awful. This is terrible." I'd eat it though. Like, I'm not gonna let it go. I'm gonna eat the whole thing. But it's really bad. But I'm still gonna eat. Now I will say she's not like that with drinking stuff. Like, I have watched her open something, take a drink, and then be like, "Nah," and pour it out.
She does that at least once a week. She'll go to the store and like buy a new.
I have seen her do it multiple times.
Fruity concoction and then be like, "Oh, that's awful." I'm like, "Why did you buy this?" She bought a bottle of Prime, which I also tried, and it was disgusting.
I have heard from her that this bottle of Prime is bad a lot. It makes me want to try one because it was bad enough to leave a very serious, lasting impression. Apparently,
it was bad for like an energy drink.
That's really bad.
Like that's really bad. Energy drinks are awful.
So
but something 0 calories.
So you manually recorrect certain lines to match her skin. That's very cool.
I just go in and color the lines on certain things. Sometimes I'll do it for actually parts of the uniform. It just to make things look a little bit softer. So like sometimes for like let me find a place to do it. Like, I don't want to pick a yellow color because whatever. But anyways, like here for the blush, like I circled where her blush goes. I'm going to go in and color that because the black lines are really harsh. And I want it to basically fade away completely and just look like blush. So I colored that. And I'll do that a lot. Like here on sometimes for like white clothes like this, I'll select a color and go in and paint the lines blue. Sometimes I'll paint them like really blue, like this. Sometimes I'll paint them darker blue, like this. Just sort of play with light and shadow a little bit, get like some more interest going. It also usually depends on how much time I have. Like if I have a lot of extra time, or if I really like a piece and I want to make sure that it's like perfect, I'll go in and paint a lot of the lines. If it's more of just like a quick piece, then I'll leave most of them unpainted. I'm saying sometimes I'm lazy, but that's okay. It's just call it style and people don't judge you.
Just call it style and people don't judge you. You know what happens Friday, Scott?
What happens Friday, Bryce?
Tears of the Kingdom comes out.
Yeah, that's that Zelda game.
Yep. Pretty excited about it. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty hype about it myself.
Yeah.
I'm a big Zelda fan.
I pre-ordered it today. Hopefully I get it on launch day. Not on like the week afterwards, like what happened when I bought Resident Evil. Granted, it was one day afterwards.
Yeah, you buy those physical
I do
games
buy those physical games, yeah.
Because you are a geek.
I'm a nuisance. I don't even have my actual I'm gonna have my copy of Breath of the Wild 2 or Tears of the Kingdom, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But like I don't have my physical copy of Breath of the Wild 1 because I left it back home. So my dad has it right now. Yeah, I know.
Failure.
And then he was like, I'll mail it back to you, but do you mind if I play it? And I was like, sure, that's cool. So I guess whenever he's done, I'll get it back. It doesn't really bother me though.
I know you. It bothers you at least a little bit.
You know, I've not actually even beaten Breath of the Wild.
Wow, fake fan. You can't even play the new game.
I got to I played it a lot, and I got to the very end. I got to basically the spoiler battle with Ganon. And then I was like, wow, I just don't feel like doing this. So I never did it. So I mean I know what happens. Like I've seen the whole shit and everything, but I've never done the very end of the game. I really liked Breath of the Wild, but it felt to me much more like a tech demo than a real solid, fully fleshed out game. Like a lot of the world felt empty to me, and I had a lot of certain problems with it. But the game itself is very fun, like just playing the game and messing around with all the tools and exploring and stuff. So I'm really hoping Tears of the Kingdom is just more complete in that sense.
Clunky.
No, I wouldn't say it's clunky. There's nothing clunky out of it. I just found the world.
I say it's clunky.
I just found the game itself is very fun, but a lot of it to me, like a lot of the shrines are the same thing. A lot of stuff like the Korok seeds are just repetitive and kind of boring. The funnest parts of the game are like actually, at least to me, are actually just the exploration and getting to mess around with the world and mess around with the mechanics of the game. And it looks like Tears of the Kingdom is just taking that, but really pushing it further. A lot of the mechanic stuff in Tears of the Kingdom looks very, very fun. So I'm really excited for it. Echo said, wildest take I've ever heard out of you. I don't know if it's the wildest take I've ever had. It might be a wild take. But I've been on record by saying I don't think Breath of the Wild is as good as everyone else does. I've said that before. I still think it's very, very, very good. I just think it could be a lot. I think there's a lot more to do with it. And so that's why I'm really excited about Tears of the Kingdom.
Breath of the Wild.
It's a Zelda game. It's impossible for me to hate it. What do you mean? I'm the Zelda guy.
Not anymore. You haven't beaten Breath of the Wild. You lose that title.
Nah, I'm excited for it. I'll be honest though, I feel like I've waited for this game to come out for so long that it just hit me like a week ago that it was like so close to coming out, because like I was just like, it just felt like this game that was just never going to come out. Like it was just perpetually like we were just waiting for news on it, waiting for news for it. And so even though like it was just like it's been announced, like the actual date's been announced for a long time, I was just like, it just hit me. I was like, oh shit, it's actually coming out. It's finally almost here. I'm pretty hyped. Wait for Silk Song and we'll talk. Yeah, I know. I'm not like saying it like I, like I'm not eating. Like but I hope all you Silk Song fans get what you want soon. Scott, Silk Song, what's that? What's that a sequel to? What's that a sequel to? Go, quick, move. You can do this.
Kirby.
You've drawn fan art of this game before. You can do this. Come on. Come on. Think about it. Think quick. Think hard. Come on.
No, I have
you can
no
do
idea.
it. I'm trying to give you a hint. You play as the little dude in it, a little bug guy.
That's like every Nintendo.
And
game.
like, it's not a Nintendo game. That's the crazy thing. It's like you're a knight. The game has the word knight in it. This is a sequel to it. It's blank Knight Silk Song. You drew fan art of it. Every time you look at this fan art, it's on DeviantArt still to this day, I think. That's how like it's. He has like a little nail as a weapon that he swings around. He's this little platformer Metroidvania game. He plays a little. Man, it's like the inside of a tree with nothing in it. It's really what? When something has nothing in it, it's really what?
Empty?
Yeah, but like the other word for empty that begins like with an H. It's really.
Oh, Hollow Knight?
Yeah, it's the sequel to Hollow Knight. God damn, I really didn't think you would struggle with it that bad.
That's been a long time since I did.
Yeah, but you did multiple Hollow Knight pieces, I think. Didn't you do 2?
I think I did 1 and I liked it, so I tried to do another one and I hated it, so I didn't.
Well, because 1 had like one you did 1 was like your normal old school style, like your like Artemis Umbra era kind of vibes, and then 1 I think was when we were doing like World Tour's Bounty Hunter, and so it had like that weird shading. The question is, should I re-dye my hair before we hang out tonight?
I mean, you can.
I mean, I could. I actually don't know what I have to do to even do it. Like, I don't know if it's just like a normal shampoo or if I have to do something special.
I think you might have to let it sit for like.
I'm sure I have to let it sit for a few minutes at the very least.
So when do you want to order a pizza?
I mean, I guess whenever your Amy gets home. We're already hanging out tonight anyway.
She'll be home like 5:30ish.
Yeah, we can do it then.
So, I don't know. You want to order it like 5-ish, 5:10-ish.
That's fine with me. We're gonna be over there anyway, so we'll just me and Amy just pop over whenever you guys are ready.
I'll let you order it since you did such a good job last time.
Okay. I'll try my hardest to actually. Well, you know what I'll do? I'll big brain it. I'll order it on my computer. And then whenever that way I know it'll work and it'll be smooth and everything will be fine. That's how we'll do it.
And then print out your receipt with the new printer.
Yeah. Oh, I spend so much on food now that I live near you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I never used to go out to eat or like order out or anything. Very seldomly. Like legitimately just like 2 or 3 times a month. Now
but now I'm teaching you how to live.
Now we do it like twice a week.
Yeah, I'm teaching you how to live. Oh god, it got deep fried. There we go.
Do you just want the exact same shit as last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they accidentally gave us a medium or a small even last time.
It's not a small because a small would only be 6, but it definitely was not a large. I did not think it was a large.
No, definitely not.
I'll get a fucking extra. I'll get a New York style this time. I think the New York style pizza from Papa John's is actually cheaper than a normal large pizza.
Probably.
So maybe I will just get that. I don't know. I want it big, damn it.
Give me the biggest pizza. I did that.
Yeah, just whenever around the time you're wanting to order, just message me because I will almost certainly forget we're even doing this within like 20 minutes.
Don't worry, I got you.
This is how Scott has to live in regards to me. We both have our faults, and mine is that I can't remember to do anything.
Should do Breath of the Wild fan art, or what's that girl's name?
What is the name of the girl in The Legend of Zelda?
Lucia. Oh, Legend of Zelda, right? Or Zelda. I should do Zelda fan art.
I should do Zelda. You've never drawn Zelda, have you?
Now
you have to make sure you draw Breath of the Wild Zelda if you're planning to do that. People will get upset if you say you're drawing Breath of the Wild Zelda and you draw a different Zelda.
My goal is going to be to piss off as many people as possible with whatever this drawing is.
Then just draw like Wind Waker Zelda. And call it Breath of the Wild Zelda. Get as far as you can from it.
I don't even know what that means, so I'm just gonna do
every Zelda
my
in every
best,
game.
And I'll probably offend everybody anyways.
Every Zelda in every game is a different character, so they all have different designs and are different people.
I'm just gonna draw Vegeta and say that. Be like, hey, I did some fan art for the new Zelda game. And it's just Zelda, or I mean Vegeta. See, I don't even know the difference.
Christ.
You know, I've learned that, the Dragon Ball fandom's like super toxic.
Is that true?
Yeah, I didn't know this, but I, for some reason, every time I open Reddit, I get recommended, the fucking like Dragon Ball shit. And man, people, they feel a certain way about everything to do with Dragon Ball. You should see some of the arguments that I've read about like who's stronger, base form Dragon Ball Super Goku or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like people are really out here doing deep dives. I've not watched Super or GT.
To be fair, when you and I were like 16, we were also those kind, not toxic online about it, but we definitely were sitting there debating power levels and shit.
Yeah, but like what a waste of time.
Heck, it says Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Easy.
Don't go post that on Reddit. Well, I think what it is now is you have a lot of young people that are watching Dragon Ball Super as it comes out, but they didn't watch Dragon Ball or even GT as it came out because they're too young. And so to them, super is like the coolest shit. They love their power-ups that are just reskinned versions of other power-ups in the same series.
Oh man, my Super Saiyan Red, Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan who? Super Saiyan you.
It's the same thing, but it's Goku's red now. And then it's the
Back
same
in
thing,
my
but
day,
he's
their
blue
hair
now.
got longer and they lost eyebrows and shit. Shit just ain't been
That
the
was
same.
hard.
Shit just ain't been the same.
Or maybe it wasn't Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Maybe they were trying to say that base form Super could be Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Maybe it wasn't Gogeta. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Both those have probably been arguments, Scott.
That's probably true, actually.
You know, we didn't do our double rock climbing this week.
That's true. Yesterday you were dying.
That is true. I honestly thought about that late night. I was like, oh shit, it was Tuesday and we didn't go double rock climbing. One of these weeks where you're not just taking the whole week off, we're gonna achieve the double rock climb.
Oh, I don't know.
It just has to happen.
That would be mighty difficult.
I felt so good rock climbing on Friday because we had done it twice that like I just want to achieve that again. We finished the green one that we were struggling on.
We did finish the green one. That was quite the accomplishment, really.
I didn't leap off the top of the wall this time and almost die. Although I did fall like twice, and one of the times almost fucked myself up pretty hard. But thankfully I leaped off the wall and did a backsplash. What is up with you and these hazard symbols?
Oh, it just happened.
This just feels like something that in like 2 months you're gonna look back and be like, why the fuck did I do this?
Probably.
Not like in a bad way. Not saying it's like a bad thing, but I'm just saying like this just seems like one of those things that you're gonna bring up and be confused about.
It'll be fine.
Rock climbing is a ton of fun. It is. I really like rock climbing.
For real? Let me cook.
Anonymous Gifter is gifting 1 sub. Thank you. Thank you, Anonymous Gifter.
Thank you, Anonymous Gifter.
You remember that one time we got gifted like 50 subs by that one random person, and then they were like, oh, fuck it, I'll gift like 50 more?
You know what? I do, actually.
It was just like legitimately a random person. They came in, and they were just like, here's 50 subs. Have a good stream. And like, we were like, oh shit, we're super close to like our sub goal. That was super cool. Thank you. And then they gifted like 50 more.
And then we met our sub goal, and you ate 2 hot chips.
I did eat 2 hot chips. That is lost to time, that stream.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And it's good. Like I said, you think it's unfortunate. I think it's how it's meant to be. I think if you were there and you watched me eat 2 hot chips in one sitting and go 2 hours without drinking anything, then you're a real one. But if you weren't, it's gone.
We have to do that again.
I remember showing that to my parents because my parents wanted to see me eat the hot chip. And I don't know if you remember this. One of the first things I did after I ate the hot chip was you were like, Bryce, tell a story. And I'm like, and then I'm like, one time I was having sex and I dumped lube all over the bed. And I got lube all over the bed, and it was really awkward because we were boning, and there was lube everywhere now, and we had to clean up, but we were still in the middle of boning. And I like was showing my parents this, and I remembered it right before I said it. And so I'm like, one time, and then I got turned off the stream, and I was like, haha, wasn't that really funny? Haha, that was crazy. I ate the hot chip. Isn't that really funny? I don't know if I ever told you that.
I don't think you did. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know why that was the story I told.
So when's Hot Chip Stream 2?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about any more of my sexual adventures because apparently that's what I did. My first inclination when I ate a hot chip was to do that.
You were feeling quite spicy.
Apparently. And I'd rather keep those between me, the bed, and the lube.
Me, the bed, and the lube.
It was a pretty big mess.
Yeah, talk about it again.
I don't care. I've already talked about it once. I'll lay out the situation for you. I went, wow, there's not a lot of lube left in this bottle, and I unscrewed the cap, and I was like, I'll just do it this way. And there was a lot more than I thought. And it went everywhere. I mean, everywhere.
You love to see it.
You love to see it. I will say, just the funniest part about it is trying to clean it up and like sliding around like a fucking slip and slide. Like it was pretty funny in hindsight. I once casually threw a full open water bottle on my bed without thinking. That's pretty rough.
At least it was just water.
That's true. Lube is harder to clean out. Scott, what would you say are some bad habits to avoid while drawing besides the holding the pen tip?
Hunching over like I am right now.
I think that's for anybody working at a computer, because I do that too.
Yeah. If you can fix your posture, do it. Do it as early as possible.
If you meet me, you'll really understand why you should be careful about this, because I have a really bad like hunch in my back from years of just sitting at my computer and writing. Also might have scoliosis. I don't know. I was told that once.
Also,
I was told that once by a doctor, and they like really wanted to like look a lot more into it, and I was like, wow. I was like 19. I was like, that seems crazy, and I just never talked about it again. My doctor was really concerned I have scoliosis because that's a bunch of things with my back apparently. I just never got it looked into. I don't know. I guess it's fine. It's been like 7 years.
Dude, you probably have scoliosis.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, well, she kind of told it to me as in like, she was kind of like, the vibe was kind of that if it can't be fixed, it's just a thing to note. Not like it was like a major medical thing I needed fixed.
Now, is that true, or were you just saying that?
That is actually true. I can attest to that because Amy was there. As far as I remember. Although Amy was very concerned about it. Every once in a while she brings it up. And she's like, we should get your back looked at. And I'm like, it doesn't cause me, but my back doesn't cause me any problems or anything. It's fine.
Right now?
Oh, I figure I'll die before it becomes a problem.
Play tonight?
What? I just heard play tonight. You cut out.
Oh, I said, what are we going to play tonight?
Definitely not Twilight Struggle.
Not Twilight Struggle.
Probably not Diplomacy.
Probably not Diplomacy.
Probably Rook. Yo, Nando Sketch Live is rating with a party of 2. Thank you. That's the 3rd raid today. Jesus Christ.
Thank you. That's the biggest raid today.
But probably Rook. I feel like Rook is Rook or some kind of card game. Definitely not Uno.
Cards are good. Not Uno.
But probably like Rook or Go Fish or Bullshit or something like that. And then probably some kind of longer game like Risk or something like that.
We do love Risk.
How about Shrek Super Racing? No, we play board game. Wednesday night is our board game night, I feel like. Wednesday and Saturdays we play board games. Maybe Jenga. I feel like Jenga
is fun.
I feel like Jenga with 4 people could be kind of lit. I've never played it with more than 2 people. Although honestly,
what I will say about Diplomacy?
It'll jackman me pretty hard.
That's true. What I will say about Diplomacy is that I feel like with 7 people, that would be so lit.
Yeah, Diplomacy,
like having to negotiate and do everything.
I agree. Uno is the relationship tester. We only, for some reason, Scott and I are committed to only playing Uno in a way that actually fundamentally ruins the game. And that's playing it with 7s and 0s. Every time I play without 7s and 0s, I have a pretty good time. And I'm like, Uno's pretty fun. But for some reason, whenever Scott and I get together, we have to play it with 7s and 0s. And it makes it, every single time, we have a horrible time. I don't know why we do it.
There's something about it.
But the game is actually fun when you just play it normally. It's gotten so bad that we played Uno. We made Echo play Uno with us for his first time ever playing 7s and 0s. So Echo, as far as I know, fucking hates Uno. Because we gave him the worst possible introduction to the game of Uno that you could ever have. And I feel bad about it. Because I feel like we've ruined Uno for life.
Ruined it for you. If he's still here.
Call it Runo.
He also kept getting disconnected from the game.
He did get disconnected
stream,
twice, yeah.
Which was really funny. We would play like an hour-long hand, and he would get disconnected in the middle of it.
And you can't join back or anything, so he was just like fucked. It was really upsetting.
Oh, that's an ugly. Oh, that's the worst color. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, get away from it.
That's terrible. Okay.
Why were you like, it was like you were watching a disaster happen. It was like, oh, it's so bad, but I can't look away.
It's like a train crash.
It was like Mel Gibson, the episode of South Park watching that night. It's literally what I was like. Yeah, I feel like Diplomacy would be pretty lit with 6 people. Or 7 people.
Diplomacy on stream. New idea. Do we know 7 people to play Diplomacy with?
That means we got to explain the rules to 7 people. And Scott, honest to God, we couldn't explain the rules to you and me barely.
I was going to say, that means we have to explain the rules to ourselves.
What we need to do is we need to find someone who already knows how to play Diplomacy and knows all the ins and outs. So we asked like ChatGPT. Actually, no, Diplomacy is so fucking confusing that even ChatGPT couldn't answer all of our questions. Like we hit a point where we like gave up and we were like, we were asking AI to explain to us how to play this fucking game.
And then it would explain it, and it would be like, and yeah, this is what you would do in this situation. And we'd be like, okay, but what about this? Like, that doesn't really make sense. And ChatGPT was like, my apologies, you're right. I was wrong. He'd do this instead. And like, that was also wrong.
That,
so
yeah, and that,
we
that
just
went
didn't
on
know.
like 6 or 7 times. Yeah, it was rough. Diplomacy.
No one knows how to play that game.
You know why no one knows how to play that game? Because the rules might be the worst written rule book I've ever read in my entire life. If for one, I'm not joking, the rule book is like 25 pages long. And really the game's not that complicated, but it doesn't explain, like, it just doesn't explain anything. It tells you how to play the game and then doesn't explain how to account for like certain scenarios that come up. It's very frustrating because the game itself seems very cool. It's essentially a World War I game where everyone plays a separate country and you do all your moves at once and you write all of your moves down on a piece of paper, or like you all write your moves down on a piece of paper and they all play out at once. And so essentially it creates a ton of battles and stuff happening immediately. And it seems really fucking cool. But the very first battle ran into a situation that the manual didn't explain at all.
So we just didn't know what the fuck to do.
We spent legitimately, the manual even warns you that your first test game, that you should set aside about 4 hours just to learn how to play the game.
So what we're saying is, if any of you know how to play the game,
that's your ticket to be just becoming a friend with Scott and Bryce. So someone learn how to play the game. And
you can come on stream. We'll all have a good time. Now, well, Risk, on the other hand.
Risk is great. Risk is very simple and easy to explain. Here's a question, Scott. Now that we're about halfway through Risk Legacy, which our enemies seem to think we're playing it too quickly. I was going to ask if you got that perception too, because I don't feel like we're playing it too quickly. Because I feel like my understanding is that 15 games is just you adding to the board, but then afterwards you have the board. Like you have this fully customized, unique game of Risk.
Is that when they talk about it, they make it seem like once the 15 is up, like
we're done.
Like you're done. Like you can't play anymore. I'm like, I was under the impression, like you said, that you could just play after that and it would be like a fun time. Like, I remember when Australia was feasible to start.
Also, if I'm being honest, even when we hit 15, we could still add the rest of the shit. Like nothing's stopping us. Now that you've played now that we're like 7 or 8 games in, do you prefer it to normal Risk, or do you sometimes miss just like the normal plain Risk?
Well, I miss Australia working.
That is true.
But I don't know. I mean, I like it a lot more than I even thought I would.
So do I. I would say that
sort of blew me away.
Yeah, it's really cool. It makes me want to try like the Pandemic Legacy and the other Legacy games. I don't know if there's like a Risk Legacy 2. I really hope there is.
I'd buy it if there was. There is one thing though that you can do that kind of breaks the game, where you can open up one of the packs before you're supposed to. And we found the devs online answering a forum where that happened to somebody, and they were like, "Yeah, we probably should have accounted for that. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe do this."
It's really weird because essentially you get one class or race or whatever you want to call them in one of the because the way Risk Legacy works is that it is a Risk game that you are meant to change. So you were meant to like rip up cards and add stuff to the board and write on the board and like do all these kind of things. And in the box, there are like 10 compartments that say open when blank. So it'll be like open when you founded 10 cities, open when you have founded, or open when somebody uses 3 missiles in one turn, open when this, open when that, open when the first player wins the game twice. And essentially the way it works is that every time you win the game, you get to make one permanent change to the board. You get to write something on the board or do something. Every time you stay alive in the game, you get to do like a different smaller change. And when you lose, you don't get any, or when you get fully eliminated, you don't get anything. But one of the compartments, I'm not going to spoil what are in the compartments, but one of the compartments gives you a race of people that have this bonus. Like there is this type of thing that needs to be on the map for their bonus. And it makes a lot of sense based off like the lore, like what is happening in the game. The fucking problem is that bonus is in a different compartment that if I'm being honest, I actually feel like is less likely to open first than the one that we opened, which is why their explanation is so weird. So, and somebody asked what Scott's using. He's using Photoshop. But that's the weirdest part. Is like, and so like we have like this new race and it sucks. So it's like pretty cool and the gimmick is pretty cool, but we can't. And if we open the other compartment, then we spoil like what the new addition is gonna be, and it won't make sense because it relies on the addition. Another thing that sucked with our box specifically is that 2 of them were switched. Like 2 of the compartments somehow got switched around. So like we got spoiled on one thing like way before it happened, like legitimately like 3 games before it happened. And there's kind of like a continuity and a story happening in the game. So, but other than that, it's really cool. It's really worth it, honestly.
We're true board game nerds. We're over here recommending legacy versions of games. Risk is such like a classic, like, you know, old school game. But the legacy version, I feel like just adds so much to it.
There is a Risk Legacy too. It's called Risk Shadow Forces. And it's essentially the same concept as Risk Legacy, but like with a more like futuristic spin on it, I guess, from what I'm reading.
Shit, we should get that.
It was at that store. I saw it. Yeah, Risk Legacy takes place in the year 2050. Humanity has come together to explore a new source of clean energy to colonize Mars. Before the expedition can kick off, tragedy strikes. Military and corporations turn their guns on each other. With traditional superpowers sidelined, powerful warlords take advantage and rush to fill the vacuums. You choose one of these warlords, then you play 15 games, and it looks like it's essentially the same setup as Risk Legacy.
Send that to me.
I'll send. We have to read more into it. I don't know if it's fully like it, but it reads like it is. Like I said, we saw that at the board game store. Why don't we on Friday, after we go rock climbing, just go into the board game store and see if they still have it?
I like that we just make plans on stream.
I don't know. Okay,
you guys weren't here for content, right?
We'll forget about it if we don't talk about it. Well, we've also been live longer than we normally are, so.
Sure, I wanted to finish this drawing.
You're eating into my last hour of work. Whatever will I do? I can't write my story about the Hornets.
I expect those Hornets to die in a very visceral way.
Oh, it's good, dude. I've been writing down like all the ideas for it. It's gonna be this story is gonna be like the bloodiest thing I've ever written. It's good to see Mia return, Scott.
the urge.
Do you think at this point you'll ever have, like, if you just accepted that OCs will be a thing that you just do for a few weeks and then move on from?
But I mean, I think there'll always be like
characters
a thing
that you, except for
yeah,
Misha,
except for Misha
and the other one who I don't remember her name of.
Sue-Ann. But yeah, for the most part, they'll just be sort of like, I'll give them like a week of like big focus, but other than that, they'll just be characters that pop up like here and there, like little one-off pieces like this.
Who do you prefer between Stray and Mia?
Probably Mia, just because I really enjoy drawing her. Big muscles, you know.
I really love Stray. She's my jam.
Stray's good. The Twitch OC.
That is true. Still in the corner, constantly changing between cat and person. The beard has gotta go, Shroom says. Damn, I think he's calling you. I don't have a beard anymore.
I'm trying to go all year without shaving. I want to see how big it can get.
He has mentioned this multiple times. This is a legitimate thing he's doing.
I've not shaved since January 1st.
January 1st? Sound like you were gonna say June.
No, it's not June.
Would you guys ever consider doing an interactive Ask Lucia thing sometime?
Sure. I mean, we consider doing about anything, really.
Yeah. Anything that we have a good idea for, I guess, is the thing. Or that, like, one of us has a good idea for. But yeah, Scott, you look like season 3 of Survivor. I don't know what the fuck that means. That's really funny.
I've never watched Survivor.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was just too funny not to read.
Oh, anyway, I was just saying that yeah, and anything that we think could be fun, like, we're open to doing. It also depends on, like, what the exact idea for it is, you know, how much work it would be, stuff like that. Yeah, we're open to it.
Just depends on whenever Scott feels like reinventing the entire Twitter game for everybody.
I missed the strip game.
But Scott, did you hear polls are still around?
Are they?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like everyone says that every stream.
Maybe they are. Who knows?
I think somebody said it earlier this stream. They still are, yes.
Damn. Elon, you killed my gimmick. By not actually killing my gimmick.
Well, think about it this way. If you ever want to do it again, people might complain, but they'll still vote.
I don't think they'd complain that much. My luck will be that, like, it's gonna stay around for a long time, and then like I'll finally decide. Game? Yeah, and then they'll ban the poll. That's my luck.
You also did only say Lucia's last strip game.
That's true. Did you guys like that? It's some cheeky.
You know what your next one is? Have it be a new OC that's just Lucia in disguise, and people slowly
a little mustache on.
And like strip everything off except for like the little like mustache and glasses. These are the ideas that get left on the cutting room floor a lot.
Okay, now I can look for somebody to raid.
Somebody to raid? We can go home. We're already home.
Well, that's true. You can come to my home.
Not yet. I gotta dye my hair first.
We're 9th if you go to digital art.
We're the goats.
I don't know if that means anything.
It means something to me.
Or if it's just random.
It shows me. For me, it shows us ranked 1. The person right next to us has more viewers. They're playing Final Fantasy VII.
All right, we're passing along the love from the beautiful raids that we got today. Thanks for coming, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe. Smash that thumbs up button. Be nice to who we raid. Stick around. Tell them we sent you. Say hi.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.